It's dominated the conversation around professional golf for over a year. But for those of you who aren't clued into every golfing headline, here's how LIV Golf ripped the sport apart. The earliest framework for a new golf tour to rival the PGA Tour became public in 2019 with the announcement of a league to be known as the Premier Golf League. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan responded by implying that golfers who choose to play in a new league would be barred from the PGA Tour. In 2020, the Premier Golf League held talks with Saudi investors about potential funding, but Gulf Saudi, a division of the Public Investment Fund, instead funded a new entity with its own plans to establish a professional league. This entity formally launched in October 2021 as LIV Golf Investments, with golf legend Greg Norman named as CEO. LIV had the financial backing, but now it needed the players. In the time between its launch and the Genesis Invitational in February 2022, Norman & Co had been offering vast sums to the game's biggest stars to the point that 24 players were ready to jump ship from the PGA Tour. Sensing a seismic shift in the sport, writer Alan Shipnuck released excerpts from his upcoming Phil Mickelson biography where the six-time major champion voiced his thoughts on Saudi Arabia's human rights record. "We know they killed Jamal Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights," he told Shipnuck. "They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all this, why would I even consider? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates." The quotes completely derailed LIV's progress, with players withdrawing from their commitments to the rival tour. Major champions Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau released statements about their pledge to the PGA Tour, but these would later prove to be hollow PR moves. Rory McIlroy also claimed that LIV was dead in the water, and it certainly looked that way. But after the disaster in February, LIV continued to negotiate with players and realised they'd have to dig deeper into their pockets to persuade players to join and face all the moral dilemmas that came with it. On June 1st, 2022, LIV announced the field for its first event at the Centurion Club in London. The list included several major champions and former world number ones: Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Sergio Garcia, Martin Kaymer, Louis Oosthuizen and Lee Westwood. Johnson, who had won 24 PGA Tour events and earned $74 million since 2008, was reportedly paid $150 million just to play in the LIV Series. But apart from its ridiculous sign-on fees, how does LIV differ from the PGA Tour? LIV events consist of 54-hole stroke play events with no cuts and shotgun starts, which means that all 48 players begin the round at the same time from holes 1 to 18. Whereas a regular PGA Tour event is over 72 holes and has a cut where the bottom half of the leaderboard are removed from play after 36 holes, as well as all players starting on hole 1 and staggering the starts throughout the day. There's also an added team element which isn't seen on the PGA Tour. 12 teams of 4 work together during the 3 rounds, and whichever team has the lowest overall score after the 54 holes win a team bonus cash prize. After its first event in June, the high-profile defects kept flooding in. The second event in Portland saw 3 more major champions in Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed join the breakaway league. Ryder Cup captain Henrik Stenson joined for the 3rd event in Bedminster, and current Open champion Cameron Smith joined for its 4th event in Boston. The PGA Tour and its commissioner Monahan had to respond to LIV luring some of its biggest stars away. In October 2022, the PGA Tour announced that it would increase the purse size of 13 designated events to an average of $20 million, with the top 20 players agreeing to play in every elevated tournament. It also guaranteed a minimum salary of $500,000 for rookies, something that wasn't available before the threat of LIV. Golfing stars Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy also announced the creation of their TGL Golf Tour that will debut in January 2024 and consist of tour pros competing live on Monday nights in a state-of-the-art indoor arena. But while the PGA Tour appears to have steadied their own ship, the game of golf continues to be a divided one. And with uncertainty around LIV players being banned from the Ryder Cup in September, it appears the verbal sparring between the two camps will rage on.